Dustine Poirier comes out and says, hey, you remember that donation that you promised my foundation, the Good Fight Foundation, back in January? You remember that donation? Well, I haven't seen it yet. And in fact, I've reached out to your team several times to get that donation. And we still haven't, not only have we not seen it, we haven't even heard from you guys. And this ignited a whole brouhaha on Twitter. And so Conor McGregor at one point even said, Chael, I'm out. All right, you want to play this game? I'm out of the fight. And guess what? The only guy who can actually flex his muscles this way is Conor McGregor. And so when I found out this morning that he actually signed the bout agreement, I thought, all right, good news, crisis averted. Now, we should also mention it's going to be at T-Mobile Arena, full capacity. This is a very big deal for everyone involved. I like the fact that no more Mr. Nice Guy is in play. I like the fact that they're not, all chummy. I don't love the fact that it's all about, a donation that would help the less fortunate, that would help kids in Lafayette. I hope that gets settled. I don't think it's a good look for Conor if he doesn't follow through with this. I think the whole thing is a little bit ugly. But if we could remove ourselves from that particular situation and say, hey, if you didn't like the fact that they were all chummy the second time around, if you didn't love, the hugging and the handshakes and the gift exchanging, we're going to see the old Conor here. I think if you're a fan of the old Conor, you're probably pretty excited that he's all fired up right now.
Errol, you talk about crisis averted. I mean, what a marketing gift that just fell in the lap. Right? I've never heard of anything like this. I've never seen anything like this manufactured. The best marketing is always organic. And it did. This embarrassed Conor McGregor. This didn't only upset him. This embarrassed him. And I'm not sure if we've ever seen him embarrassed. Look, one thing that a rich guy can't buy is integrity. And Conor was attempting to buy a little bit of that with this purchase. I mean, in all fairness, that was about. Here's a handshake, here's my word, that's good enough, right? Turned out it wasn't. Conor started talking about, well, I was vetting this and I didn't get responses to that. He never said he was going to vet it. He never said there needed to be responses. He said, I'm writing a check, and he didn't do it. I will just share with you, Conor is legitimately upset here, and I also thought he was going to pull out of this fight. I mean, don't forget, the whole topic that we're talking about and that they're fighting and debating is, can Conor be trusted? So when Conor comes out and says, I'm not going to do the fight, essentially by going back and doing the fight, it's a double loss in all fairness, right? But that was my concern. My concern is that Conor would look at it that way. I'm glad that he didn't. This is the fight that needs to happen. Not to mention, a lot of things have been put into place because they both agreed to this fight. Don't forget how we picked who's going to contest for the lightweight championship that Khabib left behind. Had to do with the fact that Poirier's busy and Conor's got a big match with him. I only share that with you because if this would have blown up, it really would have been the wrong thing to do. And I'd also like to give one quick defense of Conor McGregor, which is Conor never gets credit for oftentimes putting the company first. He could have served himself here. He could have gotten out of a fight and he would have had good reason to do it. He didn't do that. He knew this was a big fight. He put the fans and the organization first, and not for nothing, I would like that said about McGregor.
Yeah, no, that is fair. I mean, let's be honest. Conor McGregor has a lot of skeletons in his closet. He's been a part of a lot of controversial moments and incidents over the last couple of years. But the one thing we can't deny is the fact that he has given back to his community, that he has, given out large sums of money, as far as donations are concerned, to the less fortunate. I would like to sit here and believe that he's going to follow through with this. But again, if we take a step back and we remove this part, hey, Dustine Poirier took a lot of heat leading up to the second fight, that he was too nice to Conor, that he was too gracious. I remember Iaquinta saying, like, what's going on here, Dustin? Like, what are you guys doing, kumbaya session here? And so I feel like that's out of the windows. He put all the dirty laundry out. Clearly, Conor is not playing nice anymore, and he even said that after the last fight. I have to say, yes, to your point, like, again, I don't love the fact that a donation, that a charity was involved in this quote-unquote angle, if you will, but these guys aren't chummy anymore. And I think that's kind of what we want, right? Like, the whole narrative going into this fight is, will the old Conor show up? Can he go back to his old self? Well, guess what? When he entered the UFC several years ago, up until post-Mayweather, there was no nice guy. I mean, he would carve up all his opponents. Then with Cerrone and with Poirier the second time, it was a little too statesman-like. I don't think that's why people fell in love with this guy. They loved the bad boy. They loved the fact that he talked trash better than anyone in the history of the sport. Current company excluded. I think people want that old Conor to be back, and I think this is a sign that that old Conor is coming back. And so this helps everyone. It helps the UFC, it helps Conor, and of course it helps Dustine Poirier, who's about to get the biggest payday of his career.
And Aaron, what you're talking about is chip on his shoulder Conor, angry Conor, the old Conor. And you want to know who agrees with you that Conor needs to come back? Conor himself, that's why he's doing this. Look, he could have handled this a number of different ways. He's handling it this way. He's handling it from a place of anger because he knows he needs to have that within inside himself.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.